Church of St. Rocco. In the central section of the panel we find the church layout with relating key on the left. On the right-hand side we find essential information on the building and the facade design. Introduction. The church was built in Renaissance style in 1489 and was designed by Pietro Bon. The interior was reconstructed between 1726 and 1729 by Giovanni Scalfarotto. The church presents a single nave with two 18th century altars per side. The presbytery, covered with the dome, and the two chapels to the sides belong to the original Bon worksite. The facade was redone between 1765 and 1769 and was designed by Bernardino Maccaruzzi. The layout. The church presents a single nave, number 1, with the presbytery in the apse, number 2, covered with a pendentive dome, with two side chapels, number 4, and rib vault. In the apse conch, we find the monumental main altar, number 3, an important example of Renaissance decoration, which hosts the urn holding the body of Saint Rocco. The altar is crowned with frescoes by Pordenone, while on the side wall of the presbytery are 4 large canvases by Tintoretto that narrate episodes from the saint's life. On the left, letter A, San Rocco in prison comforted by an angel below, and the capture of San Rocco above. On the right wall, letter B, Saint Rocco visiting plague victims below, and Saint Rocco blessing the animals above. The nave walls bear semi-pillars with Corinthian capitals, which crown the 4 altars, number 5. 2 on each side, topped by semicircular windows. The entire wall facing the facade is occupied by the Grand Choir of San Rocco, number 6, from 1789, which rests on 14 columns with gilded capitals. This work is of great effect and is unique not only for its architectural features and grandiose forms, 14.6 by 11.4 meters, but also because it is the only choir of this kind to have survived in Venice up to today. Choirs were mobile wooden structures mounted for important celebrations. The choir of St. Rocco was used for the first time in 1927 for the 6th centenary of St. Rocco's death, after which all trace was lost until some parts were found in 1996 in the deposits of the Scuola della Misericordia. In 2002, it was subject to an important restoration and was placed in 2013 permanently in its original location inside the Church of St. Rocco. The nave decoration is in close relation to its 18th century restoration, 1726-1729. At the center of the ceiling, we find the grandiose painting made by Giovanni Antonio Fumiani in 1675, in which Rocco is portrayed in the act of distributing his wealth to the poor. On the right wall of the nave, we find two other works by Tintoretto, letter C. Christ healing a paralytic below, and Saint Rocco in the desert above. Instead, on the left wall, we find another work by Giovanni Antonio Fumiani, Christ expelling the merchants from the temple below, and by Pordenone, Saint Martin and Saint Christopher above. The bell tower, found behind the left chapel, number 7, dates to the Renaissance. Facade. During the 1700s, the facade was taken apart and rebuilt between 1765 and 1769 and was designed by Bernardino Maccaruzzi. Inspired overall by the facade of the adjacent Scuola Grande di San Rocco. The facade in Istria stone is a quasi-square. It rests on a base and is divided into 2 levels of Corinthian columns. A curved pediment rounds off the facade and is crowned by 3 statues, the central one portraying St. Rocco. At the center, after climbing a semicircular staircase with 5 steps, we find the main entrance, topped with a lunette and framed by a triangular tympanum upon semi-columns. In the upper section of the facade, above the entrance, we see, in a rectangular frame, a large bas-relief by Gian Maria Morlaiter, portraying Saint Rocco helping the sick. In the 2 side bays, we see 4 ediculae with semi-columns topped by tympanums with circular arch below and triangular arch above that frame the niches hosting 4 statues of Venetian saints and beatified.